All right, guys, we are live, episode 39 of the Shooter's Mindset. We're here with my original co-host, Steve the Tank Durant. Steve, what's going on?
Not much, man. Good to be here. Just can't wait to get into the show.
But, everybody comes to watch Kelly now. Kelly Sam still is in the house. Kelly, what's going on?
Not a lot. I'm back. Woo!
Very nice. Steve did a good job holding it down for the Untitled chat. Total time zones. It was like 10 o'clock our time in the morning, and I was at work, and Steve held it down with 12. So I appreciate it.
That was a lot of fun. Hey, it was no problem. I enjoyed the heck out of it. That was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So.
Well, Eric, our fellow teammate, we got Team Arms Corps in the house. We pretty much had them all. Jay Ricazza, so we'll be coming for you. And we have John McClain, the most interesting man in the world. John, what's going on?
Yippee-ki-yay. How's it going? Glad to be here.
Yes, his name is really John McClane. No, he was born before the movie Die Hard, so we're going to have a lot of questions coming in for that. But let me run through here for those of you guys who... There's a little Q&A section at the bottom, left-hand corner of your screen. So just go ahead and click that, and you'll be able to ask the live questions there. For those of you guys entering the giveaway, do not enter in the Q&A app. Just put a comment below or shoot over to the Shooter's Mindset on Facebook and enter that way. And that's what we have here. We got show sponsors. We got Fort Mill Munitions in the house. Boom. So I know a lot of people probably haven't heard of them, but I'll have their Facebook down in the description below, so if you guys need any ammo there. We got Blade Tech Industries, always Mindset show. DK Custom Triggers, that's GlockCustomTriggers.com. I'll have all that information down below. And the podcast, Firearm.tv. We try to get these up every week. Please hang in there with those podcast listeners. We will get it up eventually. So, John, for those people who are not familiar with you, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been shooting, how long you've been playing the game.
All right, well, name is John McClain. Like I said, I was born before the movie, so I'm not like some copyright. You know, my parents weren't obsessed with the movie Die Hard and named me because, you know, I was badass. But I lived here in Vegas all my life. I basically started. My parents were very anti-gun, actually, with me growing up. Like I was barely allowed to have like a squirt gun. So naturally, like as soon as I turned 18, the first thing I did was went out and bought a Ruger 10/22 rifle.
Nice.
Started shooting that a little bit, and then my buddy's dad, Eric Warner and Steve Warner, who are the guys that pretty much got me into shooting, and they're responsible for this whole mess, offered to take me out and try out his handgun for the first time. So I went out and shot a full-size Colt 45. That was my first gun I ever shot, and after that, I mean, it was pretty much all downhill from there. I immediately started saving up money. Bought my first gun was a Glock 22. Shot like 2 matches with that, and then I sold it to get the Glock 35. And then started shooting that. So now I've probably been shooting about, let's see, what am I at? Like about 6.5, 7 years now. I only recently started getting very serious about shooting about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago now, when I was going through a divorce with she who shall not be named. So it was something to kind of get my mind off the divorce and be surrounded by good people and keep me in a positive environment and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much kind of how it got started. It was initially just shooting for fun and just, you know, going out and blowing some lead down range. And then once things started going a little downhill for me, I just kind of latched on to the one thing that was really positive in my life, which was my group of friends that I shot with. So started doing that a lot more serious, started getting into some training, and here I am.
Boom, there you go. So you pick up a Glock 35. Still using a 34. We both are familiar with the Terran Tactical Innovations Glocks. We're pretty sure we both have those. I know I have one. I've seen one shooting it. And that's it. It took off, and now you are sandbag class.
Yeah. Technically, officially, right now, I am still A class. You know, it comes with the classification system. If it was up to now, granted, me shooting up against Nils Jonassen, anyone shooting against Nils Jonassen, yeah, I am an A-class shooter. You take his score away, though, and I actually am an M-class, so, you know, I blame Nils.
There you go. On the show of, I don't know, man, ago maybe. We had him and Brett getting all the Arizona guys. Nils just coming off a big win himself. So what do we have here? Anything you want to mention to John? I know you're a big Rock Island Armory fan since you just single stack. What do you got there?
Well, I'm definitely loving my RIA. You said that you were shooting a 2011, I believe.
Yeah, I actually have a, it's right here. So this gun right here is actually our the TCM frame, and it's a TCM 22 gun that you can buy. When you buy it, you can get it with the 22 barrel and also the 9mm barrel and guide rod spring. So you basically essentially are getting two guns in one. And the magazines are also the same size. They hold the 9mm and the TCM 22, since the TCM 22 case is actually pretty much, it's a 9mm case that's been bottlenecked down to fit our 22 40 caliber grain bullet. So this is the one I've been shooting for 3-gun, and I mean, I haven't been having any issues with it at all. So you get the flared magwell, and it's been a great gun for me to shoot. I absolutely love it. So I've got no complaints whatsoever about it. If you want to check it out, I mean, that TCM 22 round is actually a really fun round. Like I said, it's about, I think it's 40 grains, and we're getting muzzle velocities out of a 5-inch gun around like 18 to 2,000 feet per second. But it does not kick like hardly at all. The recoil is very manageable. It's actually, I've had a lot of female shooters that have shot it, and they prefer that over a 9mm any day, just because the recoil doesn't really feel like it's a full-size gun. So
That's cool. Is that sort of similar along the same lines as like the FN57 type deal, or is it a little bit different?
It's kind of the same concept as far as like the muzzle velocities and stuff like that. All of our ammunition that we make for it is soft nose ammunition, just because of the fact that we didn't want it to, selling out to this, just the everyone that's worried about armor piercing decided to do soft nose, just to kind of eliminate that whole aspect of the big guys watching us. So, but no, I mean it's absolute great gun, and yeah, I mean we can hold 18 rounds of it in the stock mags that you get with the firearm as well. And then again, it's like if you don't want to shoot the 22 round, you want to shoot 9, well then just swap out the barrel, the guide rod spring, and there you go. You got your 9mm up and running. So
nice.
Yeah, we were gonna hit on that 22 TCM round, and I'm always, I'm never. I kind of have to warm up to the new calibers or the calibers that are, that you can only get they're not really like Walmart caliber. You can't just walk in Walmart and grab it. But the fact that you said, I didn't even know this, that you can just swap some springs out in the guide rod and turn it into 9mm, then that kind of makes it, even more of a worthwhile getting.
Yeah, I mean, and it's, I mean, like I said, like I've shot them both, and it doesn't feel at all like you're shooting a full-size caliber gun when you're shooting that 22 round out of it. It really does have some light recoil, and it's very very
Yeah, very nice. Let's get into the giveaway here. We got a nice giveaway here, courtesy of Arms Corps and Rock Island Armory and a few other kind of folks. We got here the Tachyon gun cam. So I'll put them on. Boom. Real quick. Right there. That's as fast as it goes on the hat. The Tachyon gun cam, we're giving away one of those. That's from tachyoninc.com. I'll have all the websites down below in the description box. We have Rand CLP, as usual. We're giving a 2-ounce bottle of Rand CLP. We're doing 3 Terran Tactical Innovations Glock connector kits. That's the spring, 3.5-pound connector, all the good stuff there. We're giving away 3 of those for the Glocks. And Rock Island Armory is doing a medium-sized range bag, and they're throwing in 5 hats and 5 T-shirts. So there's going to be tons of winners here. We'll probably have, I don't know, I'll make the decision after the show's over, but we'll probably have like 8 winners or something like this for this. We got a lot of stuff going out. So check out these Rock Island Armory. Go ahead and thank them over on their Facebook page, so go check them out. To enter the giveaway, just hit a comment below this video saying enter me in the giveaway. If you can go to the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page and say enter me in the giveaway on the wall. I will select a bunch of winners after the show's over or tomorrow morning sometime. So there you have it.
Woohoo! Good job.
We got a live question.
Nice. That's a killer giveaway right there. Can't beat that. I think he froze momentarily, so I'm going to fill in here until we get him back. Unfortunately, we lost you, Ant. Yeah, we definitely lost him. Anyhow, moving forward, we were talking about the Rock Island Armory a little bit. Let's touch on that a little bit more. I think we may have gotten him back here. Anthony?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Must need to stop the DSL connection. But go ahead with your
Bonding time.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead with your conversation.
I was just going to ask him a little bit about, in pre-chat, you spoke about, you know, possibly people assuming automatically right off the bat that the gun that you run has been overly modified and not anywhere near what somebody would buy off the shelf. I know that Rock Island Armory has a really good reputation. Their firearms are extremely well priced. So I can see why people would make that kind of assumption. I can say that my pistol ran beautifully right off the shelf. So tell us about the pistol that you're running. Has it been over-modified? Is it really a super stock, you know, race gun compared to what somebody's going to buy right off the shelf, or is it very similar?
So the 9mm high cap that I'm running right now, the TCM frame gun, that one has been a little bit modified. And it wasn't necessarily because they wanted to try and build me a better gun than the one that comes out on the shelf. It was more so like they were kind of in a little bit of a rush to do it, so they were kind of taking parts here and there, and you know, it's kind of like a little bit like a Frankenstein gun. But that was the reason they built that one. As far as the 45 they built for my single stack, which is right here, it's going to be the 5-inch. This is the 5-inch match level gun that we have. That one, our head gunsmith or master gunsmith Arnell basically just took a gun off of the production line and then, you know, swapped out the trigger, a little bit nicer trigger, a little bit nicer hammer, and some of the internals. But other than that, the gun's pretty much straight off the production line. So while there are a few modifications, it's nothing like I didn't turn a $500 gun into a $2,000 gun. Just from a gunsmith standpoint, it's still a $500 gun, maybe with like, you know, $200, $300 worth of upgrades, which is what, you know, you would expect to buy anything from off of Brownells or Midway USA or anything like that, as far as changing out some of the internal parts and stuff. So, I mean, while a lot of people, yes, will assume that my guns are a little more taken care of and tuned and stuff, which to an extent they are, but it's nothing like, I'm not shooting a completely different gun than what anyone else would get off the shelf. My guns are pretty much the same thing that you should expect if you were to go into a store and buy one off the shelf. And if at any time you were to have any issues with the gun, we are extremely, extremely proud of our customer service. And if you ever did have any issues with it, you could just immediately get in contact with us, and we'll do absolutely everything we can to get it up and running and back to you in a timely manner. So
that's all anybody can ask for right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, me and Steve go back and forth since he got the 1911 Rock Island Armory. I always kind of wanted for a single stack was the STI Spartan, like a cross between Allen and it was an STI. So is there really? I don't know if you want to hit on this, but is it really a different gun? Should I just go ahead and?
I'm sorry, you kind of cut out there. I'm assuming you're asking if there's really a big difference between a Spartan and like a regular Rock Island gun.
That's right.
Yeah. You know, I unfortunately I haven't had a chance to shoot the Spartan or even you know, play with it or anything like that, so I can't really give a full assessment of that kind of a comparison. But what I can say is I have shot some Kimbers, I have shot some Springfields, and I've now shot my Rock Island. You know, it gets to a level where a gun's a gun. It all comes down to sight picture, trigger control, and, you know, recoil management as far as speed. So as long as your gun's reliable, you know, that's one of the things I always tell people is like, in all honesty, I don't care if my gun's pink, purple, gold, whatever. If I pull the trigger 10 times and the gun goes off 10 times, then I'm happy with that gun. You know, so as far as, like I said, with reliability issues or anything like that, I haven't had any. My gun has just been running and functioning like no problem since I've gotten it out of the box. So that's as far as I can go with that. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to play with the Spartan at all, so I can't even compare to it.
Yeah, very nice. That's a good answer. Travis Jordan wants to know, John, who did your Die Hard
You cut out again. I'm assuming that's who did my die-hard custom grip on my STI?
That's right. Why am I cutting out?
Okay, so that was actually done by extremeshooters.com. They're based out of, I think it's Lake Havasu, Arizona. Jason Kleshiff is the guy that I run through out of that, and he can basically do, if you just go to extremeshooters.com on their website, you can go on there and they've got a bunch of stuff that they do. He does a lot of like the hydrographs and stuff. So I mean, he can completely trick out your entire gun. You could put skulls and flames all over your gun, mag pouches, holsters, ear protection. He does all that stuff. And then if there is a design that you want custom done for your whether or not it's the STI, Infinity's Ring, like that, you can literally just get in contact with him and send him whatever kind of image it is that you want, and they can start working on developing it and getting it onto your gun and stuff. So basically all you have to do is pretty much send them your grip, and it'll come back to you completely brand new. And I will say with that grip, I mean it's basically just the same as like having the sandpaper or the skateboard tape or whatever it is that you use on it. It's the same texture, so it is very aggressive and it feels very secure in your hand too, and it lasts for a long time. My grip lasts longer than any skateboard tape that I've had on my gun. So
yeah, very nice.
Extremeshooters.com.
There you go. There you have it. Kelly, what do you have? You have the Bianchi Cup coming up, so I know you're preparing for that. What else do you have as far as Bianchi Cup and any updates with that?
I do. It starts next Wednesday, and my fellow Sassafras and Bullets gal Deanna is going to shoot it too, and we're actually both using borrowed guns. I've had mine since last year, so it's the crazy STI that I've had on the show before, and she's borrowing a 38 Super. So that's going to be crazy. We're both kind of nervous because our weather still hasn't been really amazing to practice yet, so we're just going to kind of wing it, but she's a really awesome shooter, and she's getting into 3-gun and stuff too, so
no excuses.
I know, no excuses. I'm going to shoot as a part of the Packing in Pink team, which is, getting big. Not every lady, but they have a lot of, pink items and stuff for ladies, and they sell the Blade Tech, all the pink holsters and, all the awesome stuff, and they're from Canada, so they're coming all the way down here, and they have a huge team. I think there's 16 regular shooters shooting as a part of their team, and then they sponsored 4 veterans to come and shoot. So there's going to be a whole lot of black and pink out on the range, and Animal Customs is making the jerseys and stuff, and they went beyond what we even thought, and they are taking all of my sponsors that are on my regular jersey and putting it on the Packing in Pink jersey. So not only am I going to support them, but I can support my regular sponsors too. So that's pretty awesome. Plus I have another jersey I can wear throughout the year, so that's even better. I have choices. Very nice.
And the black and pink will almost come close to standing out as far as John McClane does with the pants. So referring to the pants, I need
some funky pants.
Yeah, we got to ask you, John. I know you kind of probably get it a lot. It's kind of your calling card here. But how the whole pants thing, how did it come about that your buddies loved those pants one day and then it kind of took off from there?
All right. So as far as the pants go, initially, the first time I wore a pair was at the Handgun Nationals. I think it was about either 2 or 3 years ago now. And I bought them originally just kind of as like a way to stand out and be stupid, which apparently it works very well. Most people were walking up saying that they saw me before I even drove out onto the range. So I initially started wearing them again as that aspect. The other aspect that I had was that here at the local club that we have here at the time, we've had a few guys that like I go out there to shoot and have fun and laugh and hang out and whatever. Like, score doesn't really matter. And there were some guys out there that were just like really, really like range officer Nazis. Like, they've got cards out and like arguing, procedurals and no shoots, and it was just like I don't want to get to the point where it's no fun anymore, and I have to argue with people. So wearing the pants was also kind of a way of me saying like, hey, I'm out here to have fun. I'm out here to laugh. If you don't like it, well then go sit in a corner and cry by yourself. In the meantime, I'm going to be over here being the life of the party. Then once I started getting into shooting a little bit more competitively and serious, I found that whenever I would start shooting and I would have a bad stage, I'd throw a miss or I'd do something a little too fast or have a jam or whatever the thing was that messed me up, I would get really, really upset and like I start getting really hard on myself. And that would cause me to not have fun. So I started wearing them and changing up the designs and buying different pairs and stuff, just as a constant reminder, like, how serious should I really be taking this? I'm out here to have fun. I'm out here to laugh. I'm out here to have a good time and stuff. You know, if I win in the process, okay, cool, you know, whatever. But they're a great conversation piece, and that's kind of what helps get my head out of whatever it is that just happened and back into getting it prepared for my next stage. If I have a really great stage, I just smoke it. Everything went exactly the way it was planned, 1-for-1 on steel and all kind of stuff. Well, then I'm amped up and I'm fired up, but I can't carry that with me to the next stage because I need to go to the next stage clear-minded and ready to shoot that stage. I can't be thinking about how awesome I was the last one. Same thing if things go bad. I can't carry that with me. My team members, Pete Rensing, Keith Wright, Scott Stevens, all those guys that I shoot with for as far as Team iScope, who are the guys that are on here in Las Vegas for me, we kind of have a thing that's like, you have 5 minutes to be pissed off. So you can go and cry and complain and whine for 5 minutes, and after that you need to drop it and come back with your head in the game. So, you know, walking over to a next stage, a lot of times the ROs are like, oh my goodness, how am I supposed to RO a guy I can't see anymore because he burned my retinas out? You know, it gets me laughing, it gets me joking, it gets my mind off the game for a little bit. So while some people may think now that I still kind of do it as a me trying to seek attention, for the most part, I really don't care about attention anymore. It's more so about me making sure that my head stays in the game, and it's you know, again, it's a great way to make people laugh, and it's good conversation starter. So,
yeah. Building on that it's funny that you mentioned that because Lanny Basham in With Winning in Mind, which is a highly revered book for most competitive shooters, he talks a lot about the mental game. It's huge. So those were some awesome points you made about getting your head cleared out after you have an issue and having something there to remind you. Moving forward with that whole concept, do you have a pre-stage routine, or when you step up to the line, is there a routine that you go through? And if there is, what is it?
So typically, I used to have like a huge, like 3-minute long pre-shot routine, and eventually enough people made fun of me for it that I stopped doing it. So for the most part, when I'm the next shooter going up, while the shooter in front of me is going through is when I'll kind of do like my final walkthrough of the stage. Once it's my turn and the range is clear and it's my turn to go ahead and make ready, I'll go up. I try not to take too long anymore, because what I found was that if you're already feeling anxious about your stage, by prolonging your make ready, all you're doing is letting that anxiety build up higher and higher and higher, because you can't calm down. Your body is already in its fight and flight mode, and it's going to keep going until you're done with that stage. So the longer your pre-shot routine will take, the more built up you can get anxiety-wise. So from that point, what I'll do is I'll just, you know, maybe do like 1 or 2 sight pictures real quick, load the gun, holster it, and then do one more quick mental walkthrough just to make sure I remember where all my targets are, if there's any like hidden ones, and then where I need to do my reloads. Maybe mentally also check about footwork. If there's a specific spot that I know I have to plant, if there's like a nail on the ground that's holding a piece of fault line that I know my right foot has to land next to, then that'll be my last chance to just kind of make a mental check to make sure that that's where my foot lands. And then from that point, just go ahead and get into your ready position and nod your head and unleash hell.
Nah, very nice. I got a live one here from Richard White. He's probably a friend of yours too. He's asked, "Make ready. Do you scream yippee ki yay?"
I try not to scream it. I do think it quite often, but no, for the most part, once unfortunately, I do still want to take the game a little bit serious as far as performing at a level, the professional level that I'd like to achieve for myself and that I hold myself up to. So pretty much once it comes down to the time where like I'm the next shooter or I am the shooter, the jokes for the most part will try and tend to stop for at least that position. Once I fired my last shot, unload, show clear, and safely holster is a lot of times where I turn around and start making fun of stuff. Or I may even scream yippee-ki-yay at the end of a stage, but the beginning of it, not so much.
This is more on the... he said he bought Sauer 556 XL. Not sure on that model. Before I found out about 3-gun, do I need to sell it and buy something new, or what should I do? So what would you recommend to him right there?
What was the thing that he bought? You cut out again.
He said he bought a Sig Sauer 556 XL. So I'm not sure on the model exactly, but...
Okay, I'll be polite here. I'm not a big fan of SIGs. I used to own one, and I don't anymore. Not that they're not good guns. I just personally don't like the trigger. But as far as for 3-gun, I mean, ultimately it's going to come down to whatever you're comfortable with. If you enjoy shooting the gun and you can shoot the gun well, then forget what everyone else is shooting. I mean, you look at someone like Ben Stoger for a while. He was shooting a Beretta. That was like, not many people shot a Beretta in competition world, but there he was winning production with it. You know, now he shoots for Tankfolio, which is also a great gun. It's the same gun that Eric Raffel uses and stuff. If you're comfortable shooting the gun, then go ahead and you know, keep with it. Now, as far as 3-gun, I know one of the issues that I always had with Sig Sauers was that their magazine capacities aren't always the best. I like when I had their 40, I can only put 12 rounds in one mag, whereas with the Glock, I mean, you start off with 15 at least. So, as far as mag capacity goes, you might be at a little bit of a disadvantage there. The other aspect of it too is always like if I recall correctly, Sig mags aren't exactly cheap. And you know, my Glock mags, I've got like 8 of them, and they're $15 a piece. If I had to buy 8 Sig mags, I would be able to afford 4 STI mags for that same price. So, you know, I mean, that's something else you want to look into, is if your equipment's going to be breaking down, or you want to have an abundance of it as far as like for backup or whatever. You know, that's something else I would look into. So, I mean, as far as 3-gun, I absolutely love my Rock Island. Don't get me wrong, it's great. But for someone who's just starting to get into it, I would actually highly suggest getting like a Glock 34, especially if it's tricked out by Terran, because I know you guys can attest to it. The grip on it is absolutely insane. The trigger on it is absolutely ridiculous. And his sight is really, you know, crystal clear as well too. So I mean, it's a great gun to shoot. Actually, after I got my Glock back from Terran Tactical Innovations, I actually fell in love with that gun again. Like I wanted to shoot production with it, even though I was training for like limited net, or I was like training for like Area 2 or something like that with my limited gun. I had to go out and shoot at least one production match with it because I wanted to shoot the gun so bad.
Yeah.
So going back to the question, if you know, like I said, if you're comfortable shooting the Sig and you don't mind the accessories and stuff, or the rounds, the limit to the rounds that you can put in, well then by all means keep shooting the Sig. No matter what, you know, it doesn't matter really what anyone else thinks, as long as you're comfortable with it and you shoot well with it. Personally though, when I started shooting 3-gun, I did use my Glock 34, and now I use my Rock Island, and I love shooting my Rock Island as well. But yeah, I mean, I would always suggest going with the Glock. You can't go wrong with that.
I think he said a Sig 556, so I'm assuming he also had a rifle. And my minimal experience with a Sig rifle is that they're a little bit heavier as well. But even though your advice was on the Glock pistol, I agree with that. They're a little bit on the heavier side. Sig kind of makes it like I always call Sig like a proven kind of like throw it around gun, and it's just you're gonna pick it up and it's gonna go. But I would, if you're new to 3-gun, I would just say rock with your Sig 556 until you exceed that, and then if you feel like you need to move on to something a little bit better.
I apologize about that. Why don't you tell me it was the rifle instead of the handgun? I got too many numbers going on in my head.
And like,
rifle. As far as the rifle, whatever.
Yeah.
If you like it, then by all means shoot it. I haven't had any issues, or I haven't heard of any issues with that Sig rifle. I think that one's piston driven, isn't it?
Yeah, those are piston driven.
Yeah, so I mean, the only downside you may have to it is that it's a little bit heavier just because the way it's set up and stuff. But shit, you know, what kind of groups are you getting out at 300 yards? Because I mean, that's what really ultimately comes down to. If you're not getting good grouping out of it, well, then it's time to make some modifications or whatever. But as far as the rifle goes, I mean, If it goes bang each time you pull the trigger, and then you can put the safety on and off clearly as you dump it or whatever, by all means, go for it. Rock it.
There you go. I agree with that. Just do it. Do it with the SIG until you feel you need something better. If you ever do need something better. Steve, I think you got a couple live questions piling up.
Yeah, we got a few building up here. If you want to run through them really kind of quick. First one was from Mr. Al Nguyen. He was asking about the rifle that's in the background. There's a rifle sitting on the table behind you there. A couple of them, actually.
Yes. So I got two of them up there. One of them is going to be my Terran Tactical AR that's also built on a Sun Devil manufacturing lower. That's the one with the scope, and that's my 3-gun competition rifle that I've been using. That's the one I just recently shot at the 3-gun Nationals to take 8th overall in the Tactical Division. Thing runs great. Love it. Absolutely love it. So the other rifle back there is actually, that was my first rifle that I had ever been sponsored to me by a company here in Vegas called Rifle Dynamics, and that's run by Jim Fuller. It's actually an AK that's chambered in 223, so I was able to shoot it in 3-gun without having to worry about shooting, any steel cord Russian ammunition or something like that at steel targets and piss people off. But that was the first rifle that was ever sponsored to me and built for me by Rifle Dynamics again, Jim Fuller. And I don't know if anyone knows out there, they're a little bit more on the tactical side as far as the builds and stuff that they do. They build rifles for Travis Haley, who used to be very, very involved with Magpul, and now he runs the Rifle Dynamics AKs exclusively.
Awesome.
But, absolutely, absolutely awesome rifle as well. You can see it's black and red, and I got it made that way because I like to be. I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but I tend to be a little bit on the flashy side.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So I did red and black for that one, and they all laughed at me for it. But I think the gun looks great and shoots absolutely awesome. So that one actually, I went and took that to the 2012 USPSA Multi-Gun Nationals, and with that exact rifle, I took first B class in limited. So
nice.
Wow.
That wasn't too bad to take a AK to that match and do what I did. So
can't beat that, man. That's awesome.
I would love an AK in 223.
All right.
I got another. Who wouldn't?
I got another one here from Robert Eld, and he was asking about when you practice and you shoot your matches, what do you feel like you get more out of? Do you feel like you get more? Do you grow more through your practice sessions or through an actual match?
I think, unfortunately, I think it kind of takes both to improve. There's different levels of training that I'll do. Like if I just came back from a major match and I'm just like drained mentally, emotionally, physically, and stuff, then the next time I go to a local match, it's just for me to go out and have fun. So that's when you'll see me like go out there and do these ridiculous game plans and try and shoot way faster than I know I should be. I'll be throwing misses here and there and stuff, but I don't care because I'm just like, me and my buddies at that point are like, let's just have a good time. I bet we can run this stage in 16 seconds. And everyone else is running it like in 17 seconds with their open gun. And me and him are just like, all right, dude, 16 seconds, let's do it. So we'll just try and hose everything down as fast as we can. Now, if we're getting ready to go to a major match, then what I'll do is I'll go to the local level match, I'll shoot it, and based on how I do at that match will determine what it is that I feel I need to work on. So if I was maybe going through the stage a little too fast or too slow, depending on distance of targets and splits and transitions and stuff like that. If I know that that's something I need to work on, then I'll go the next day when I do my training, and then that's exclusively what I'll be working on. Same thing with reloads or movement or anything like that. Yeah, I use the local level match to see where my weak points are at that time, and then I'll go to a training session and then just exclusively work on that portion over and over and over until I feel comfortable with it, then go to the next local match and continue to go from there. So, you get quite a bit from both. Dry fire is absolutely essential, unfortunately, as boring as it can be sometimes, but that's very much a part of becoming better, is putting in your time and effort and stuff like that. So, go out to the local match, do the best you can, and then just kind of figure out, what were your weak points and what were the things that you feel you should have been able to do better. And then next time you go to a training session, then you start revolving your training around how to increase and how to improve those sections of your shooting. And then you go to your next match, and then so on and so forth. It becomes a 6-cycle carousel.
Very nice.
Where do
One
you
more quick
shoot
question.
out there?
There you go.
Out here in Vegas, we have a couple ranges. We do Pro Gun Club,
Boulder City.
which is that's kind of out. It's by Boulder City. It's not exactly the Boulder City Shooting Club, but Pro Gun Club is where the Three Gun Nation is holding their Western Regionals, which is actually this weekend that I'm competing in for my semi-pro tour. So that's one range we have out here. The other range that we do is Desert Sportsman's, which is the one that we did the multi-gun nationals at, and we used to have the handgun nationals and stuff here. We also have another range up way in the north part of town called the Clark County Shooting Park, and that we tend to do mostly for like our Steel Challenge match and stuff like that. But so I mean, those are the three primary ranges that we have competitions out here in Vegas. And then of course, you know, St. George is only a 2-hour drive from here too, and they've got a great facility out there too. So every now and then I'll take a trip out there just if I want a change of scenery or anything like that.
Change of scenery, oh my god, every time I've gone out to one of those ranges, it's just, you stop and stare, it's just gorgeous. It kind of, you know, you have to go, oh my god, I'm here to shoot, but we just found ourselves just standing there looking at everything.
Yeah, unfortunately when you were born and raised in Vegas, you're kind of like, oh look, it's Red Rock again.
Yeah. Come on.
Right.
Yeah, I can hear that. Let's do the giveaway announcement. We're at the midway point of the show. So those of you guys who are just joining us, we have an awesome giveaway from some awesome folks. We got the Tachyon Gun Cam HD. I run it. Kelly has one. John has one. Eric Reifel, JJ Ricaza. They're all running these cameras right here on the hat. The battery lasts like forever on this thing. It's I think it's like 5 hours of full HD recording. One activation, just press a button and it records. So very good stuff. A winner's going to win a Tachyon Gun Cam. Rand CLP is going to throw in their 2-ounce bottle of CLP. We have Terran Tactical Innovations throwing in their Glock and Spring Connect. Rock Island Armory is throwing in a medium-sized range bag. Some T-shirts. We got 5 T-shirts and 5 hats coming out courtesy of Rock Island Armory and Arms Corps. So very nice. Thanks to those folks. Just in the comment section below, just type enter in the giveaway or shoot over to the Shooter's Mindset on Facebook and enter on the wall. And there you have it. So let's see. We have tons of questions piling up. I had a good one here from Lisa Marie. She had it for geez, no, I lost it. Okay, it's actually for Kelly here, and John, you can chime in on this one.
No.
John or Kelly, do you have any advice for the ladies that are training and preparing for the Brownells Lady 3 AM Challenge?
I think that a very important part of that whole ladies match is going to be practicing our shotgun loads, especially for new shooters. It's something that you're like not going to be familiar with at all, especially if they're going to try, you know, the load 2s and the quad loads and stuff. I know it's pretty expensive to, you know, get into that stuff, especially a lot of people it's going to be their first match, or a lot of ladies, you know, it's going to be their first match ever. You know, so it's great that it's going to be all ladies, but I have a feeling that that's going to come down to, you know, the winners is reloading. You know, your pistol, it's not so tough, but that shotgun stuff is tough. So there's a couple ladies that I know that are shooting, and that's what I've told them. Like, you have to practice your shotgun stuff. I don't care if you have to go out in your backyard or whatever you have to do. You know, your basement. You know, they have dummy rounds, or you know, whatever. Be safe if you do it in your backyard, like I do. But I think really that's gonna. I really think it's gonna determine the winners is reloads, because you can get hung up on that. Really, really easy. I know that everybody's worried about accuracy and all that stuff, but I mean, you know, I have to tell them, you know, most of the pistol stuff is 2 on paper. So, you know, yes, your hit should be good and you should focus on that, but you know, they don't need to spend a lot of time on that. And I know that sounds terrible. You know, tell them not to spend a whole lot of time on, you know, getting in the A zone. But you know, it's 3-gun. You don't necessarily have to do that as long as you have 2 on paper. But shotgun reloads, you have to practice it, or you're gonna get caught up and spill them everywhere.
There you go.
What I'll throw in on that is that the 3-gun, there are a couple things with 3-gun. One, obviously, your handgun. Like she said, it's not so much USPSA centered. You don't have to get 2 A's. The points don't matter in 3-gun because it's all time plus. So don't let that translate into I can get extremely sloppy.
Right.
When I do shoot 3-gun, my goal on a paper target with my handgun is to shoot at least an A and an insurance shot. So if they're both C's, then okay, no big deal. But at least I've ensured that I at least had 1 A, because if I miss with my second shot, then the target's still going to be neutralized, okay? So 3-gun, again, handgun, don't be afraid to get a little loose with it, but make sure you get your hits. There's nothing worse than getting 5-second, 10-second, 15-second penalties all because you were trying to blaze too fast on a target that you didn't give respect, and now you've trying to, in order to shave 1 second off your time, you've given yourself a 5-second penalty. So with your pistol, beware of that. Rifle, long range. Don't go to war with long range targets. If your long range is not a strong point for you, or you're not comfortable knowing what your holdovers are or anything like that, then commit to maybe doing 2 or 3 rounds at a long range target and then taking the penalty. There's no point in sitting there and going to war with the target for 20 seconds when a miss on a steal is only a 15-second penalty. Okay? With shotgun. Shotgun loading is important. What's more important than shotgun loading is to not miss with your shotgun, because every time you miss a target is an extra shell that you have to load, and that's where people are going to lose matches. Okay, if you only have 9 shots and you only have 9 shots in your shotgun, hit all 9 targets. Take the half second for each target to get your 9 hits, rather than trying to save a second by blazing across, missing one, and now you've got to do a load on an empty chamber, which me and my friends, we've done those challenges, and it takes at least, at the top levels, you're still looking at 1.5 seconds to get that round back in the chamber and get your gun functioning. That's a 1.5 seconds that you lose, all because you were trying to save a half a second by shooting fast. So with the shotgun load is important, but more importantly, just don't miss with it so you don't have to load it more than necessary.
Get your hits.
There you go.
And it's hard because we don't really know anything about the matchup, but I'm assuming since they're going to have the amateurs and then the professionals kind of different, that not to say that it won't be difficult, because I do expect it to be difficult, but there won't be super long range things and stuff. So as long as you're zeroed in good and your holds out to I'd say probably 200, 300-ish. I don't expect it to be terribly difficult, because they understand that this is a match to get ladies into the sport and not to scare them with super hard stages.
Right.
But
and ultimately, whenever I go and shoot a major match, I always have one number 1 goal on top of every goal that I go to a major match for, and that's to finish the match safely. So just go there, have fun. Don't try and don't get yourself disqualified because you were trying to go too fast or anything like that. Be safe and get through the match safely. That should be your number 1 goal. After that, everything else is just a plus.
Right.
And the live questions are kind of piling up, so if I don't get to it, bear with me. But Team Arms Corps, let's talk about your team. Like I said, we kind of announced them. We had Athena Lee, we had Seeklander on the show, we had Eric Greifel, we had a bunch of them on. Just talk about your team, because it's full of great shooters, and how do they, being on your team, help you improve your shooting skills?
They are, on top of being great shooters, they're actually very, very cool, down-to-earth people as well. The first time I actually officially got to meet most of them was during SHOT Show, when we went out and we did the filming for the Arms Corps Precision little challenges that we did. You posted on YouTube, and you can find that if you go to the Arms Corps Precision channel on YouTube. We did 4 sets of challenges, and that was kind of the first time I actually got to meet them all and hang out and talk and stuff. Along with the Beyond the Range, which is what we did at the SHOT Show. It was kind of funny sitting there for the first time doing interviews with them, because yeah, exactly. I mean, I've got Athena Lee, who's a multi-women's champion. I've got Eric Greifel, who's a multiple-time world champion. I've got JJ Ricazza, who's multiple-time national champion. Mike Seeklander, who's national champion, and of course, is a big celebrity because of a certain little TV show. And then here's little 3-gunning me, like, hi, I'm just glad to be here, So. It was a little surreal to be sitting in the company of such great shooters like that, but at the same time, because I know that I've got a team full of national champions and world champions, that kind of pushed me even harder to get my butt into gear and be like, wow, like I was training before, but I've got no excuses now. I need to get my ass out to the range and really start pushing myself to excel. So, and then of course, anytime we go out and we shoot, we're always pushing each other anyway. But having them as team members, and they're also great. I mean, I know for a fact. I mean, I can message them on Facebook, or I can give them a call, or shoot them a text, or anything like that, as far as training ideas or anything like that, and they get back to me. So I love them all. They're all awesome people. If you guys ever get a chance to see them on the range, be sure you go up and say hi to them, and just they're extremely lovable people. They love the sport. They love sharing it with others. So don't be afraid to approach them. But being a part of Arms Corps has been like I still every day try and wake up and assume that it's all been a dream. But having them as team members has actually been really, really beneficial in the fact that, again, it gives me something to strive for. I've got people that I can chase down and one day hopefully beat, and be able to rub it in their face until the next time that they beat me. So.
You're sitting in a great position right now, because not only are you surrounded by some of them on your team, the best shooters on the planet, you're here on the Shooter's Mindset with Kelly Samsel, who is the world champion, subgun champion of the world, undisputed champion, the subgun champion.
That's correct.
Bow. Yeah, there you go.
Damn, I was unaware. I was in the presence of such greatness. You waited what, 45 minutes for that to get out?
Are you defending that title next year, Kelly?
Heck yes.
Nice.
I heard that there is some competition coming, so I'm gonna. Well, I can't practice. I don't have a subgun, so I'm just gonna cross my fingers that I get to use the same one that I did in April, so that I, know what I'm doing and don't look like a total idiot. So
crossing your fingers sounds like a very good training tactic.
I don't have one to practice with. I do not own a subgun, so it's just gonna be walk up and have the gentleman who lent me his before go, here you go, have it for 2 minutes again and go for it. So we'll see.
That is a high horse to ride. I mean, you're like, it's fully automatic competition, and you just won it. So congratulations.
I had to bring that up because I don't want John to. I mean, this guy is a hero. He was, we all saw the movie Die Hard. Yeah. He's hanging out with Erica Fell and Seeklander and Athena Lee, but I don't think he realizes he's got the subgun world champion right here.
My goodness, I was unaware. I'm a little. I feel like I don't even know why I'm on the show anymore. Let's just.
That's right. Yeah. I need the fancy pants.
They make them in ladies.
Where does one buy some pants like that?
I think they even make skirts. The pants that I wear are from Loudmouth Golf, which is the same company that John Daly uses out on the PGA Tour. So that's the company. And I will say this: like, while they are golfing pants, and of course they look ridiculous, they have actually been absolutely the most comfortable pants I have ever shot in. Like, it's not even a joke. Getting in and out of different positions and stuff, whether or not it's 3-gun, like going into reverse kneeling for long range and stuff, they're actually extremely comfortable. Like, nothing seems to get pinched or anything like that. So, no, I love shooting in these pants, and even if I decided to stop wearing the crazy designs and just get some regular size or regular, all one colored ones, I probably still wear them because they're just really that comfortable.
Makes me think of Rex Kwando.
Nice. There we go. Richard White's asking a serious question now.
No.
Looking at the Rock Island Armory TAC 2011 VZ for single stack, besides cutting the frame down and meeting dust cover requirements, what would John recommend upgrades behind the trigger, fire control parts, and maybe a magwell?
Magwell for sure. Yes, magwell for sure. Other than that, man, it's tough just because everything is so based on who the shooter is and what they like. For example, I enjoy having a fiber optic front sight. It's kind of like a requirement for me now. So sights, which I think that gun actually will come with a fiber optic front. So if that's what you're happy with, then cool. Adjustable rear sight as well. Skeletonized hammer. I actually prefer for a single stack. The one I have right now only has the left side thumb safety, but I would suggest a ambidextrous thumb safety just because of when I shoot, and I shoot predominantly if it's like a strong hand, weak hand stage, I still like to have something for my thumb on my left hand to actually rest on against, as opposed to when you only have one thumb safety, then it's kind of like just floating there, not doing anything. But so ambidextrous safety, make sure your grips are good and that you're comfortable with those as well, because I know sometimes they can get a little slippery, especially like the all wood ones and stuff that we sell on some of our guns and whatnot. I really don't have all that many modifications to my single stack other than what they have like in the internal parts. So just get a good, solid, decent trigger in there, and then just put in the time and training into it. I mean, the gun's gonna run for you, and I'm sure you'll do very well with it as long as you put the time and effort into it. Sight picture, trigger control. That's what it comes down to.
Very nice advice. I got a quick question here for Kelly and John again, and then we can hit the lightning round. And I know Steve's got a few piling up. We got either John or Kelly going to the Rock Castle Pro-Am in Park City, Kentucky.
Yeah.
So Kelly would be there.
What, that's it? You're not even going to elaborate? I would actually really like to go shoot that match. Unfortunately for me, again, I'm a single parent right now. Well, I've been a single parent for a while, which explains why I'm so broke all the time. And while I do get a lot of sponsorship issues or sponsorship stuff taken care of for me, unfortunately, I've yet to convince Holiday Express or Red House Inn or anything like that to sponsor me. So financially, for me, it gets a little tough. I try and reserve one match where I actually travel to a year. That one's not going to be one this year. Next year or this year, I'm planning on going to the MGM Ironman, which is in I think June. So I'm shooting that match after the Western Regionals this weekend. Other than that, next year, we'll see how it goes, and if something were to happen where I'd be able to travel and shoot more often, absolutely, I'd love to come shoot that match. Absolutely, I'd love to travel and shoot every match if I could. But
you come to that match in fancy pants, and I'll get a fancy skirt.
There you go. See, and you can show up with your sub gun.
Right. I would tear it down.
All right, let's jump into the lightning round here. We were talking about skirts and fancy pants now. Lightning round is a quick one here. I didn't really write down a ton for this one. Just the usual stuff. Just quick questions from you, John. Answers. The Glock or the 1911? If you can only have one to compete with, one to carry, Glock or 1911?
Okay, what are we talking about as far as 1911 single stack, or are we talking like any sort of like 1911 style gun?
1911.
1911 style gun. Okay, 1911.
All right, very nice. 9 or 40 if you can only carry one.
9.
We got Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris get into a fight. Who do you got winning that?
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
Actually, that's not. I'd kill them both.
There you go. AR or AK? You have them both in the background. Only have one. What are you going with?
I'd actually say my AK.
Wow, that's the first.
Because it's 223.
It's the first ever AK selection, but it is 223, so we can give it some credit there because I like 223 and AK.
Well, and I mean, and the other thing is I have shot that thing like the year I shot it at Multigun Nationals. It was windy and dusty and stuff. Everyone else was putting bags and stuff around their ARs. I left my thing with the bolt wide open, no issues. I didn't have a single malfunction for the entire match. So,
there you have it.
As far as it being a working man's gun, it definitely works in adverse conditions. So.
There you go. Zombies are outside the window. Are you picking the rifle, pistol, or shotgun to get the job done?
I'm definitely picking up probably the pistol.
Oh, the pistol. Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. I would choose the pistol too. That's because I'm not efficient enough in a rifle or shotgun, so that'll be my choice. But there I have it. Denny's or IHOP, and then I guess.
I got one.
IHOP.
You got one. Yeah, I agree. IHOP all the way. Steve, what do you got?
Who would win in a fight, Justin Bieber or Ronald McDonald?
Who gives a crap? Although, who would win in a fight? I hope Ronald McDonald does, because Justin Bieber could probably be can afford to be taken down a few thousand notches.
There you go.
I've got one.
Go ahead.
What do you order at In-N-Out?
What do I order at In-N-Out? I order a double animal style.
Nice. You know what? They don't have any In-N-Out burgers down here in Florida that I know of.
That is sad and unfortunate. You're missing out.
Yeah, it's big time. But every time I go to California, it's a must stop to In-N-Out Burger.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure tons of people are agreeing with me right now that In-N-Out.
First
awesome.
stop in town in Vegas.
Yep. Also, there was one I didn't get when I went to SHOT Show. I didn't get it.
There's one like right off Tropicana, just over the highway.
Pepper. I don't know what.
No excuses.
There's quite a few of them around town actually, but
I think that's the one that's closest. Dean Martin Drive or something.
Yeah, Dean Martin and Tropicana.
There you go.
That is really terrible that I know that, but you know.
There you go. Steve, you got a couple live ones that we can fly through real quick. You with me, Steve? You're muted.
Unmute yourself, man! No one can hear you!
I didn't do it, I swear.
I'm back. I got two quick ones that are pretty good ones. One from Darren Graves. What gun caliber setup would you recommend for a new junior USPSA shooter? Like a 12-year-old, basically.
So a lot of juniors I know prefer to shoot the open guns because obviously there's a little bit less recoil you have to deal with the compensator, and then of course magazines and all that kind of stuff. You have higher round counts. I'm a very, very firm believer though, like if you can handle a 9mm, then I would and find a gun that fit your hands. I always would suggest starting off with open sights or steel sights. You're young, your eyes are good. Use them while you can. Wait, you can always switch to open and get the red dot when your eyes start going out and you can't see your front sight anymore. But if you can become proficient with an iron-sighted gun and you can hit your targets and do it in a timely manner, then all switching to open is going to do is make you that much better and faster. So I would suggest if you're going to try it, go ahead and either do production where you shoot in the 9mm or just shoot limited minor and load your mags all the way up, and now you're shooting 9. But that's what I would suggest. So.
Perfect answer. And then another guy, you might have heard of him, Cody McKenna. He's a little bit of a shooter guy. He's pretty good.
Hi, Cody.
He wants to know what your favorite movie is.
What's my favorite movie?
You can't say Die Hard.
Oh, I can't say Die Hard. See, I was trying to pick through which Die Hard I actually.
No Die Hards.
47.
There was actually a live question about which Die Hard he preferred.
Okay, so if it's which Die Hard do I prefer, then it's the first one, obviously, because the second one kind of sucked. The third one was just funny because of Samuel L. Jackson. The fourth one is absolute garbage. Don't even talk to me about the fifth one, because me and Taryn Butler, when we went to go see it, both fell asleep in the theater. So, first one as far as which Die Hard is the best. My favorite movie of all time, oh my goodness, man. I mean, Super Troopers is great. That's an awesome movie, but so is Boondock Saints. I mean, those two are probably kind of, I'd say Boondock Saints would be my number one.
Boondock Saints. Steve, you got another one, or do you want me to move on here? I got a couple more from Rich White. A couple more coming in here. Nick O wants to know what color is your Snuggie. So I don't know if that's referred to you, John, or what.
I don't have a Snuggie.
No Snuggie here. Kelly,
no Snuggie for me.
Snuggie?
Come on, like I know my pants are a little questionable, but I don't have a Snuggie.
Yeah.
No Snuggie here.
I got a two-part question. Rich White asking for Cody. I guess Cody's in here trying to get his questions in through Rich. Do you have residual effects from the glass?
Well, I'm sorry, you cut out
what?
there. Do I have residual what?
The question is, do you have residual effects from the glass in your feet?
No. No, none whatsoever. That was all. I actually have ninja healing abilities, and my feet was able to push all of the glass out all at once.
That must have happened during a match. That probably sucked. Yeah. Do you still hold any little ill will towards Greg anymore?
I'm sorry. Your thing's cutting out on my end again.
Towards
Damn
who?
it! Damn it! Do you still hold any ill will towards Mr. Grebner? I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but
Grubner or Gruber?
Grubner, that's it. There it is.
Hans
Gruber, right?
Gruber.
Hans Gruber?
Gruber. That's who he's looking for.
No, of course I don't have any issues with him because he's dead.
So there you have it. There's the questions there. I've got a couple more coming in though, but let's kind of move on here. We're actually towards the hour portion of the show. We hit the lightning round. Let's do the giveaway one last time. So this is going to be your last time to enter the giveaway here, and that's going to be a Tachyon gun cam, courtesy of Tachyon Inc. That's an HD camera that we all use here on the show. TLP 2-ounce bottle of that. TTI Glock connector spring kits. We've got 3 of those. So if you have a Glock, just say I have a Glock. Enter me in the giveaway. We'll figure out how to select those. Rock Island Armor bag and 5 T-shirts and 5 to winners. We're gonna have tons of winners being selected here. Just say enter me in the giveaway in the comment section below this video, or you can shoot over to the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page and post on our wall, enter me in the giveaway, and you'll be in. That's gonna be the last call for entries though.
Now I will say with this Tachyon camera, guys, it's supposed to be like a bundled package as well. So you're not just getting the camera with the hat mount. You're going to be getting all the accessories that they have as well. So you have here this camera was actually kind of built and designed around the shooting sports in mind, whereas the GoPro is more so for like an action sports in general. So you can get the headset and all that kind of stuff. But like I have here their actual Picatinny rail attachment that is built for this camera. So you put the camera inside there, strap it to the front of your rifle, front of your shotgun if it's got a rail on or anything like that, and now you've actually got a camera mount that was designed for the shooting sport, so you can get some really cool shots. And I mean, we're talking we've got a scope mount where you can put it on top of your scope. We've got a shotgun barrel and shotgun magazine tube mount that you can put them on top of the typical hat attachments and stuff like that. So that's going to be a bundle setup, and I mean, this camera is really badass. I'm actually really digging it. So.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I mean, you get all the mounts. You know, to use the GoPro, you kind of get it, and then you have to. Not only do you spend a lot of money on it, way more than you would spend if you would just bought the Tachyon gun cam at first, but you also have to buy all the other mounts for it that the Tachyon already has. So. Yeah. Okay, just saying. You know, you choose what you want to buy, but it just makes a little bit more sense.
And we're talking about price differences here too. I mean, you're looking at a GoPro. GoPro is going to be what, $300, $200 for like the mid-range ones. The one that we're giving away here, I think, retails around $150. So considerable difference in price, and it's a lot easier to function. I mean, like I said, here you got that middle button right there. Push it on, the camera turns on, and then starts recording. Push it off, the camera stops recording and turns off. There is no turn it on, push record, is it recording? Okay, now I'm going to shoot. Okay, turn it off. Oh, wait, I forgot to stop recording. Now, and my issue with the GoPro is that I always forget to stop recording. So I've got 20 seconds of me shooting and then 30 minutes of me walking around bullshitting with everyone.
Yeah.
And it also has photo capabilities. Like, I set it down at Christmas for my nephews and did like the time lapse thing, and it took pictures of them at Christmas time and stuff, and the pictures aren't bad. I mean, they're good for a little camera. You just set it down, like you said, one button to turn it on, one button to turn it off, and it just
And then they are coming out with one in either June or July, I believe is what they told me. That's going to be a 1080 HD. So this one right now is 720, but they're coming out with one that's going to be 1080. And again, it's built around the gun industry. Sporting. So the accessories are built for it. You don't have to machine it yourself or anything like that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, very nice. We got any last minute live questions you want to run through, Steve?
No. That was pretty much it for the questions tonight.
Yeah, I think I don't have any on my end. So let's run it down through. Let's run it down to shoutouts here. Kelly, what do you have as far as shoutouts on your end?
I'm gonna say if anybody lives near Columbia, Missouri, whatever, and you can make it to the Bianchi Cup next week, it's an awesome opportunity to see the top shooters from the world. I mean, you have some guys from the 3-gun, sports. I mean, like Bruce Pyatt's there, Jerry Michalek's there, and then like you have the international people. I mean, there's a whole group of Aussies that come, and they're amazing. And And you can come and watch the whole thing. You don't just have to come for the celebrity shoot on Saturday. You can watch everything. There's plates, barricades, practical, moving target, whatever. I mean, it's not that we don't like seeing each other each day, but it's nice to have other people there. Otherwise, we just run around, and watch each other for 4 days. So it gets kind of boring. So if you're around here, come in, come and watch. It is fun to watch, and it's fun to step up to the firing line and see that you're shooting beside Bruce Pite. You know what I mean? You don't get that many chances, especially just like in a pistol match. So come to the Bianchi Cup. I'm going to shoot for Packing in Pink. Deanna and I are going to shoot, and hopefully I'll have some good stories. I don't know what we're going to do with the show next week. I'm going to try to see if I can get some signal in the hotel and maybe find some notable people to come and,
Very nice.
be on the show for a minute. But anyway, yeah, Bianchi Cup, cross your fingers for me. It's going to be fun.
Also,
again, good training tactic.
There you go.
I know! That's all I'm banking on right now, just crossing my fingers.
Yeah, and Kelly is signing autographs for a whole $100 a piece, so if you see her on the range...
Hell yeah!
$99.99. Remember, that's cheap for the sub-gun champion, so...
Sub-gun undisputed champion of the world.
So,
of the world!
Consider that...
I do accept ammo in,
She will trade you.
Yeah.
2011s. 2011s are good. Glocks.
I'd rather have ammo.
They add up. There you have it. Steve, what do you have?
I'm just glad to be here hanging out. Awesome show tonight. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks to John and Anthony, of course. And I'm looking forward to this weekend. I am. Kelly's talking about Bruce Pyatt, and we got Eric Rafael hanging out, and all this great stuff. I'm shooting against Anthony this weekend.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's what I'm looking forward to. That's the highlight of my future right there, is me and Anthony on the same range throwing down.
Yeah, we were talking mad dirt the other day. I was trying to bet him 500 rounds of ammo, and then he's like, he doesn't want my reloads because he's afraid there's a squib because I load on a Lee press, and we just couldn't iron down what we were gonna bet. I betted him a Glock versus his Rock Island Armory, and he didn't take it. So I don't know.
Why would I want to step down?
Oh, there you go.
Hey there.
But is it a Terran Glock? I mean,
no,
if it's
it was not.
Glock,
it was a Glock. It was a Glock 42 and 380, which happens to be.
In the words of Terran, then it's garbage. It's a box office flop.
Yeah, there it is, a box office flop. So, John, what do you have as far as shout-outs on your end? Let them rip.
Well, first of all, thanks everyone for tuning in. If you guys see me out on the range, and trust me, it's not that hard to find me, by all means, come up, say hi, introduce yourself. I'd love to hang out and talk with you, and I love meeting new people. I mean, like I said, I'm just grateful to be where I am right now, and I know I've gotten a lot of support from a lot of great companies. So Armscore and Rock Island, obviously, they are doing so much for me as far as putting me together with a great team, giving me great ammunition and great weapons to work with. Sun Devil Manufacturing, check them out if you guys are looking for some kick-ass AR uppers and lowers. They make them in some pretty bitchin' colors too. You can get like blue, gold. Devil's Coat is like a really cool gray finish that they do and stuff like that. Really high quality uppers and lowers. They also just released a new adjustable drop-in gas system that you can put on your bolt carrier for the gas key. So if you can run a regular gas block on your AR and then just do the tuning through your gas key on your bolt carrier. So that's a pretty cool little system. That system's like a $60 drop-in, $120 if you want it with the carrier already installed to it that Sun Devil produces. So check them out. G-Code Holsters was another one of my sponsors. I didn't really get a chance to talk too much about tonight, but they make some really cool little products. Especially with their little RTI wheel system here, which I have right here. This is actually what their holsters will sit into, and it's a modular system. So I have here it's set up onto a regular belt loop rig. Well, this is the one that I use for my carry gun. So when I carry it outside the waist, it's right there. Well, whenever I get into my car, instead of having to remove the gun out or anything like that, it's got these two little tabs here you push in, slide up, and the holster comes off. And then I have one of these attached inside my car. So I just take it off my belt, put it in, drop down, lock it in place, and now my holster is secured into my car. And then when I get out again, you just push the tabs in, lift up, take it off, put it back on your belt. So you don't have to drive with it necessarily on your belt and having to do an awkward draw or anything like that if you need to deploy it out in the field or anything like that. So check them out. They're tacticalholsters.com. And then, of course, I've just got a lot of people that obviously have helped me out through my time as being a shooter. Right with them was one of the first guys to ever get me into training. Pete Rensing, Scott Stevens, Keith Wright, all my team members for ISCO, JJ, Mike, Athena, Eric, all those guys from Arms Corps. I'm so thankful and grateful for all the support that I have. It's the only reason I can actually still afford to shoot is because I have such great support, especially from guys like Taryn Butler. That guy tricks out my rifle and made it to where the thing, without his rifle and without his gear, 8th overall probably wouldn't have been an accomplishment or conceivable at Multi-Gun Nationals this last year. So check me out. I'll be at the Three Gun Nation Western Regionals this weekend here in Las Vegas at Pro Gun Club. After that, I'm going up to the MGM Ironman. Then I'll be shooting, I think, Handgun Nationals and then Area 2 down in Arizona. So if you guys are planning on going to any of those matches, like I said, feel free to come up, say hi, bug me, poke fun at my pants. Don't poke me in my pants because that's just awkward. And then again, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for tuning in. I hope I didn't bore you too much. I talk too much. I know that.
Oh, it was a really entertaining show. We got to get, we didn't write this down. We got to get him to sing a song for the outro. I'm going to go through my, you were playing some pretty good, you don't have to sing it, but you were playing some good Metallica and stuff on the pre-show. So you can run that down.
Let's see.
And
we need an outro.
I'll do some shout-outs here on my end while he's getting that going. Don't forget to sub to the channel every Wednesday, 9 o'clock. Sub to the channel. Email if you need to get in contact with me. theshootersmindset@gmail.com. Rand CLP, Terran Tactical Innovations, Arms Corps, and Rock Island Armory. Thanks, John, for coming on. And the podcast website is shootersmindset.com. So there you have it. And we'll leave it rolling a little bit on this fine tune from John McClain.
Tear coming to my eye.
Yeah.
You have a tear coming to your eye? All right, that gets a little boring. Let's see if we can pick it up a little bit.
Nice.
A little Back to the Future action there. So.
There you go.
All right, let's see. What was the? I was gonna do something.
Look at the look in Kelly's eyes.
I know, right?
Like a fangirly, he likes guns. He can play Metallica.
Here's my best impression of probably one of the worst bands that's ever existed. So.
When
dreaming, gone through
he breaks out the creed.
Time and time again.
Love it.
Well, let's go now.
Somewhere Scott Stapp has a tear in his eye right now.
Let's go there. Where else can we stay? Can you take me higher?
All right.
Beautiful.
That's perfect.
There you go. I'm done embarrassing myself.
Yeah, episode 39 of The Shooter's Mindset, guys. Thanks for watching, John. That was awesome.
That was fucking awesome.
Thanks for having me.
The best outro ever on the show. Thanks.